Yeah, I mean, obviously it could create jobs as well. So you're looking at a payroll tax, you're looking at another tax revenue besides sales tax. But I think Governor Cuomo is probably more looking at the sales tax side of it. I think the one thing New York State has to be careful of is not taxing it like the state of California does, where I think every 51 cents of every dollar sold in like marijuana in California is tax revenue. I mean, so again, that makes it hard to actually keep a business going if half of that money is going into the government's tax, into the government's hands at that point. So yeah, I mean, there probably is money to be made. I think that with the rest of the states around us legalizing it, if people want it, they're probably going to travel out of state and buy it. I don't know that for sure, but you could potentially be losing money on that market if people are doing things like that or ordering things on the internet and getting it shipped in. So yeah, he's absolutely correct. I think there is probably some revenue to be made from for New York State. Absolutely, if it's done correctly without too much government oversight as well. Well, I mean, I think you've got to take a look at it like you tax and sell alcohol and kind of find a balance. I mean, obviously, we should be concerned about some of the addictions and helping people if there is a problem at the end of the day as well, making sure it doesn't get in the hand of the teenagers and people maybe under the age of 21 or whatever that magic number is at the state level. I don't know that, what that might be, but again, there's got to be a balance. You need to have, licenses to sell it like you would to sell alcohol. I think all those things come into play, licenses to grow it. The state of Oregon's a great example. I think that has made money on it. Colorado, I think, regrets some of the extreme measures they put in place in the beginning. So I think we benchmark off what states have done well with it and kind of use that model for New York State. But you also need to have free enterprise and free markets in order for people to be able to generate and grow businesses if that's the business they want to be in this state. You know, I think under the upcoming administration, there's been some guarantees or some looks at it. I think we're going to see the easing of regulations when it relates to marijuana. It's becoming much more of a mainstream drug. I think it's becoming much more like alcohol is, at least from the research I've done. One thing you've got to consider is the Department of Transportation regulations and some of the laws around, working in the healthcare field, the police field, all those areas. So I think you're probably going to see the easing of laws. I don't know if it's going to become totally legal at the federal level, but you're going to see probably a lax more than we have at this point. But time will tell. I mean, it could evolve, and it could be a yes with certain professions that are excluded from that legalization. Sure. I mean, again, if you've got dispensaries in different, shops and stores, in Chemung County or Tompkins County, Tugga, where I live, you're going to have, you're going to have sales tax there as well on marijuana. You could have, employee, spending money, you're paying employees. You're going to have that type of potential economic growth there, and you're going to have people that grow the marijuana if they have the license to grow it as well, which is going to put people back to work. So there is opportunity, I think, in this area if people choose to go into that business, and also tax revenue that might come down from the state in grants and things like that for other projects in this area. So there could be a potential positive domino effect related to the legalization of marijuana. So yeah, I mean it could be a good thing for the southern tier. Sure. I mean, again, I think that businesses and organizations need to be aware of some of these things for their policies and procedures, and making sure that they're changing that around, changing their expectations and policies around what the law states at this point. And I think it's an evolving area of legislation, not only in this state but across the country and federally and also globally as well. We've seen some easing of laws like in Canada and other places. So time will tell, and we'll see exactly what happens, and if it is going to become a profitable industry or business to own in New York State. So.